Item 3, no.
Don't be lunch grass.
Row 1, Landgraf.
Alden is gevoelig jagen. Krugerorm, Bighorn. Spanners, Bighorn. Gozad, Bapwa. Hug Cerro Creek.
Good, Mighty Few.
Stewart, Ego Stagata.
Real Word Mighty Few.
Proposed Roshkazitcha. Senator Stewart of Black Lodge and Senator Bergenground of Reno. Right now they are at another meeting. They're over at the meeting with College Peak meeting. We're at the college right now, so that's the reason for the absence. And Chikdalum, thanks for coming, executive, attorney, staff, and college students. Thank you for your presence. At this time, we'll move on to the next item of the agenda, which is old business. Joint action resolution approval of the articles of incorporation for the Exalaga Development Fund Incorporated as tribally chartered nonprofit corporation eligible for certification as a Native Community Development Financial Institution. Bryce Huggs being the chair. At this time, do you want to make a motion to bring it back to the floor, or what is your recommendation at this time?
As chairman of economic development, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda and push it back, back to behind the conclusion of new business.
Need a second?
Second.
Second by Carlson goes ahead. All in favor, raise your right hands. All opposed? All abstained? 15-0-0. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda, an old business, joint action resolution. Resolution requesting fee to trust acquisition of Crow Tribal fee lands. This is a natural resource committee. Senator C.J. Stewart, the chair. Right now, he is at that meeting, and Vice Chair Paul Hill. What is the recommendation of the committee?
I make a motion to send it back to committee.
Keep it a committee.
Yeah, keep it to committee.
Okay, need a second? Second. Pat Alden, all in favor, raise your hands. All opposed? All abstained? Motion carried in committee. Third item, bill for enacting title. An act to amend Title 18 Business Organizations of the Crow Law and Order Code by adopting Chapter 1 Purpose, Policy and Administration, and Chapter 5 of the Exalaga Corporation Code, and rescinding CLB 05-16. Bryce Huggs, being chair of the Economic Development Committee, what is your recommendation?
Motion to bring it out of committee.
Okay, need a second on that? Second by Arnold Pilot Runs. All in favor, raise your right hands. All opposed? All abstained? 15-0-0, motion carried. Okay, at this time, he was already ready to record, and we'll start with the 30-minute presentation. All recognizes Sean Robert.
Agora estilo seja romano, negócios, sabe, mas não sabes, tepches, e daqui da, na perpagues tak que a dia quanto, que Gregoi wa o não aves, dage Jigyo, district's dog, Kumaux in Babim Shibo, Archer Shika, Yakut dog my, Chokbug, Yitball, Chokbug, then Maidish Bokshua, Chokbug na, Bukaji, this was Bage, Ichihuigas, Chokbug Bokshua, and Bage Yakudish. They are Bahari, Chokbug Bokshiwo, Yakudish. They are main district's boss. Awazuli, Awazush Sawu, Ma, the Runka, Alchishika, they are a Chivigit. These are the natural about shot at the cook. Na, Bagi. Organizations, what they, Badi say go, which usually go, organizations, what they, a man out to it. Na, no one way. Na, Balajish. Machi, Mani Naduga, go spog, no one way. Hey, na, Balam, Kasum Kolu, na, away goiter. And then Bala Kasis Kolu, Kagoka, District Balado, Districts Kolu, Chivikish Kolu, Many Youth Development Speed is Kolu, Balajish Biol, Kagon have anybody's do much. Hey, you took Sul, Kagok, okay, I look on how to, Babu Shibot, focus, you walk it up, you could buy millions, 20 million, 30 million. Because we walk it out, pro-tribal government. His salary laws, his salary, tribal budget, salary, get it go. It not okay shit. I get the United States government. The G-Saw, they she's that pollution, get that chair, who got? G-Saw, Minneapolis, go, get used to this. They take the United Nations, Nako, get his energy, get this, I'll get with you. Ship out to this, I'll get with you. And you, as a pro-tribal government, Shokbug, even Shokbug, not federal government boss, Shokbug, but you will accept Shokbug, but I would. Because go you, deal, a malashikus, there, Bobby, he's a good station, Shokbug, they malakus, Bobby does. Sure, hope you will quite chilly. Because go you walk it out. Do they corn, but then, corn, all out. Then, legislators in my dad, corn, yeah. Come in, come na. They want chasing out, yes, you. Thank you. Unmarked guys. Dear, come on, dear. Na, but it's not my house. Check them, let chasing shit out. You could go. And deal, a malashitus, up the house, we know my best. Last year, it's called this, deal. Upsalge. Na, mouse to you, the bunker, I could come on you. Those you are happy with me. Do you guys want me to express it in English language, or are you guys okay? Okay, good. I have to shift a little focus here and speak Crow language every day in quick bath ceremony and politics and executive branch, but I'll express myself. As we were stating here, we've been working on this for probably last administration. I tried to move it forward with the legal department, and I emailed. I had the federal government email them. I emailed. I even had you guys talk to the executive branch, stating to the executive branch, let's get that nonprofit going, because if we don't move forward on the nonprofit code, incorporation code, tribal incorporation, we stay poor. Right now, the only game in town is Crow tribal government. But if we give the tools to the people, to the Crow people, give them building blocks so that they can develop nonprofit organizations, so that they can attack issues, social issues. They can help develop the youth. They can help develop the elderly where they're in need of care. How do we assist in all those areas? We need nonprofit. We need policies, codes, procedures. We need a board. We need to be accountable. We go after funding that's out there. I know that Bill Gates and his organization provides millions, billions of dollars. I know that there are those organizations out there. There are federal departments out there, USDA, that provides a lot of funding. And if we can get these nonprofits going, that we can help the individuals that are unemployed. If we help them get employment, maybe they stop doing the bad stuff, like taking crank. Maybe we move forward with our districts, and each and every district is a nonprofit organization. Each and every district can have a rodeo. Each and every district can have a powwow. Each and every district can have churches. Each and every district can have homes. The districts can provide scholarships. That's the way the Navajo Nation is. That's the way Ho-Chunk is. That's the way Citizen Band Potawatomi is. We are developing as a government, and it's with your voice, with your authority. The people voted you into your positions within your districts to make a difference for the poor, for the people who can't help themselves. And when we develop these organizations, you'll be proud. I know that. We can't always depend on the Crow tribal government for employment. We need to establish these nonprofits so that they can all work there. And it's with your vision, with your passion, that we're moving forward on this. I know that J.D. Stone, when he was legislature, he helped me move forward with all these codes, from the foreclosure law, uniform commercial code. It was his vision to have a Waiala District nonprofit organization. And he's here today. And his vision and his dream is coming to light today, coming to fruition. And I know that there's youth here today, and they're thinking about developing all different types of nonprofit organizations. I know that language, my big brother Lanny, he wants to have a nonprofit organization to maintain our Crow language. I know that Paul Little, he needs to have a veterans organization for a nonprofit organization for homes and assist the veterans. And that's where we stand. We want to develop nonprofit organizations. And with that, I'd like to have, maybe I'll have to shift Ms. Sherry's helpless folks. She's ex-U.S. attorney under the Bill Clinton administration. And Elkahadu, na coach room developed back at it. Then a whole big check, big up. Nini 60 got it. Now what? I was up, said, I was up. AAA horse today, I go my taste with it. Go to you're like a AAA horse, you know. Bring your in and then feed all these crows at the racetrack. So that's the way it is. Just thought I'd give you that analogy. It's all right.
I'll recognize Sherry Matuzzi. Mediucci. Did I say it right?
Either way works. Good morning, Mr. Speaker, members of the body, guests. I think the only message I have for you, until you have questions for me, is that your Economic Development Committee and the legislative staff have worked many, many, many hours on this project to bring to you today a proposed bill that has the recommendation of the committee and that we believe is the best structural foundation for the kind of development and particularly nonprofit corporation development that will permit individuals and districts and the executive branch and others to create ideas that will ultimately be of great benefit for all of Rico people. That is the goal that we all share, is to develop legislation that creates opportunity, that improves the lives and the options for individual Crow people as well as their governmental structures. So the bill that you're going to be looking at this morning is long and it's complicated in many respects, in that there's a lot of sections and a lot of parts to it. But the work that the Economic Development Committee did was informed by not only the recommendations from Sean and from me and from Bill Watt, but also by looking at the tribal corporation codes of other tribes around the country, which have been very, very successful in their own economic development efforts. The Ho-Chunk, the Seminoles, the Navajo, others. And so we tried to bring the best ideas from those other tribal corporation codes together with the legal requirements that are necessary in order to have the basic infrastructure for a corporation to be both created by the Crow Tribal Nation and recognized by outside entities as an officially and legally chartered entity. That's what we want, is for the Crow tribe to be able to exercise its sovereign authority to, which it has in full measure, to create and authorize and administer the regulation of tribally chartered corporations. Corporations include, as I'm suggesting, both profit and nonprofit. Both profit and nonprofit corporate structures have advantages and disadvantages for particular circumstances. And this adoption of this proposed code will allow individuals and other entities, including the executive branch and the districts, to select for themselves the type of structure that will best serve the objectives they're trying to accomplish. I'm sorry, I just want to emphasize that nonprofit organizations have to be created for a purpose that meets the Internal Revenue Code standards in order to qualify for a 501c3 status, which makes donations and contributions that recognize nonprofit tax deductible. Nonprofit corporations do not necessarily have to obtain 501c3 status. There are types of nonprofit corporations for which it wouldn't be appropriate to seek that kind of approval from the IRS. The point I want to leave you with is that this is a multi-layered bill for a code that offers opportunities to a broad range of people under a broad range of circumstances. And I hope that you will consider it favorably. If this is an appropriate time, Secretary, I would be happy to answer questions, or I would be happy to come back and answer questions.
That'll be during the debate right now for a presentation.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yolanda,
Yeah, Floric has Yolanda Goodwise.
thank you.
Thank you, Speaker, members of the body, staff, and members, guests as well as viewers. I'm very, very honored to be here today. Since I started my education, I always wanted to bring that back and help my people. And a little bit of history about how we started here. Sean and I have been working on creating a community development financial institution to serve the people of the community, to provide financing, to provide developmental services, to help people fix their credit, to help people get loans, to help people start businesses, to help people in various aspects that were severely lacking here on the reservation. A couple years ago, we decided to try to do a jar, and thankfully Bryce put it in the end of the agenda, but we tried to go for a jar, but some people were uncomfortable with a instrumentality, creating CDFI as an instrumentality, whereas normally it isn't an instrumentality, it needs to be free from governmental control. So Sean and I, as well as our steering committee, seen an opportunity to do something that we've been lacking as a nation, and that we needed that corporation, nonprofit code that, you know, would allow individuals and tribal members and non-members to charter under the nation to recognize the Crow flag of sovereignty. So we kept working at it, and kept pushing, and you know, it isn't just about the CDFI, it's about the individuals out there who want to help their community, the individuals who want to create nonprofits and draw in funds from the outside to in order to, you know, create youth programs, or in order to, you know, to create anything from here to there, from Native American Church to the Boys and Girls Club, like Sean keeps using an example of. We have so much opportunity and so much talent, so much education on this reservation. We just never really have a venue until now, until the corporation code. So, you know, I'm very thankful to be here, and I really am thankful for the Economic Development Committee's hard work, and Sherry and Bill's hard work, and Jay's hard work. It's been a long time coming. I know we've talked about it for years, and from before I was even around, so it's really good to see us moving forward and creating a good future for our children. So thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Floric, as Bryce Huggs, Chair of the Economic Development Committee.
Speaker, Secretary, legislative body, guests. When this first came into the committee, I looked at it like, the way I seen it was, we can be active as pro-tribal members. And we always talk about Boys and Girls Club, and me, you know, like tumbleweed for teenagers, you know, and I looked at it, and the reason why I understood where we're going with this was when my son went out, he had to do a community service prior in the community, and he went around town, looked at what was needed, and he came to the conclusion of, you know, these kids need jackets for winter. So he went out, came back, he said, Dad, this is what I'm going to do. So I said, all right, I'll help you, let's go. We went out, we hit all these various stores, and the result was we needed a nonprofit PIN number from the IRS, and it made it difficult. It was frustrating, only for myself, but for him. He thought he could just go out and get all these jackets and, you fulfill that need. But in the long run, we ended up going to a place that had a nonprofit pin for IRS, and it was Tumbleweed. And they're the only ones that helped because they had their nonprofit established already. So, with that, it made me more hungry to fulfill these areas, to make something happen on our organization, to bring all these monies. They're just waiting. They're waiting for this code. Once this code is passed, then we open the doors. We open the doors for a future. That's jobs. It's going to create jobs. It's going to help our people, and we're taking a step forward. And we got people out there that don't like change, but to move forward, we need change, and to build our reservation. We're like stuck in the past, and we need to jump into the future. And this is the future. And with that, thank you.
I'll open the floor recognizes Lenny Robert, Dr. Lenny Robert.
I would like to commend the people of the Crow tribe as well as the legislators for taking the initiative to move in this direction of positive opportunities for our community, particularly the vision of people like Yolanda and Sean, as well as Sharon, complementing their plans. I teach business students. I have 40 of them sitting there. Every day on a daily basis, I'm dealing with 40 to 50 business students. And I'm trying to promote the Crow tribe and economic development. And some of the things that we're lacking in the Crow tribe economic world is, number one, a financial institution. That's where they've been telling us over at economic development, Yolanda and Sean, with this money not turning around in our community, we're losing it elsewhere. That's one of the main things. Another thing, and just endorsing this this bill about nonprofits. Nonprofits are going to immensely help this community. Like, for example, let's say there were some people who wanted to start a school. Hey, Baladawa, Malau, Kuwaiwad, Hajmishti, even you can teach Crow, or you can even teach science in Crow. You can teach math in Crow. Even some of these people over here, they know that we teach Crow, we teach accounting in Crow, don't we? We have examples in Crow, in economics. They know that. And we can do anything in Crow. Perpetuate our language with a nonprofit. A lot of people who understand nonprofits understand that they can get tax deductions from that. Let's say some of you, you're making a salary and then you're making additional money. You can take deductions for donating your time at your church, or at this Boys and Girls Club, or at these youth activities, or just contributing some food to a food bank, or spending time with the youth in maybe a basketball league, baseball league, swimming. That's what this nonprofit can do. We can even make a school, because a lot of times we're like, within the past month, I've heard at Little Bighorn College, and I've had students come in that they say that the schools are prejudiced to Crow people. They victimize our students. They also victimize us in that we don't have a nonprofit. I want you to imagine this right now. If there was 3,000 students, K through 12, and they were receiving hot lunch, okay, 3,000 crew, The state is awarding Harding, School District 17H and School District 1, $25 a child for hot lunch. That's $75,000 a day that Hardin is benefiting because we don't have our own nonprofit. And plus, they're not teaching our language and our culture. And there they are, they're not hiring Crow people either. With a nonprofit, we wonder what happened to our schools over here. They only teach K through 6. Now some of the kids, maybe let's say we're taking about 2,000 of them, busing them to, not only to Lodgegrass, but to Hardin. These people are making $7 to $10 a child a day through the system. So if somebody's making $75,000 a day, they're not hiring Crow, they're not teaching your language culture. There is no reason to continue this. You people can, you gentlemen, you leaders can make a difference today to say that, hey, during 2014, I was there. I supported this law of nonprofits because there are students coming along, whether they're in Well or whether they're in Pryor, that are going to be business people. Or they're going to have a school and we have our own teachers and they build. They kapsaro ge waja mikuru kalgo yaga. Yaga ek alugala ga hatemba. Balera shakyat so much. All they see in the corporate world is they see our resources. With non-profits, we're going to protect our land. With these commercial codes, with these codes, we're going to protect our land. Right now, if there was a move to end reservations and get out of the United States business world, the only way that we're going to sustain is if we have corporations protecting our land. If we don't incorporate our water and quantify it, somebody could come in and get it. If some of the people they got fractionated land at this time, if a fund came in, just saying hypothetically, they can protect this land, even though it's maybe 2 or 3 acres, and say this is going to be the site where I'm going to pray, I'm going to have a church, I'm going to preserve our culture and language. They did go watch it, but in a non-profit could there is no way under the United States can they interfere. We can even incorporate all of our timber resources so that we're not put into bankruptcy. We can protect our agriculture trade with these types of laws. And we just got to remember that if they ended reservations today, the only way that it will hold up in court is with a corporation, non-profit or even for-profit corporation. And a lot of you were here when you set up these commercial codes for LLCs. You have a chance to set a legacy for your people, some to come. Right now, you look at it, some of these students here, they went to Hardin, they went to Lodgegrass, they went to Pryor. They never taught them leadership there. They never taught them about economics there. Now, we're going to change that. We're going to change, we're going to show them leadership, we're going to show them business skills, we're going to show them how you people do it, how you create laws. Where you take control. Either way, how we're going to do that.
Lenny. Chuck, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
At this time, I need a recommendation from the chair of the Economic Development Committee for organizing Bryce Hugs.
Thank you, Speaker, Secretary, Legislative Body, guests. We met numerous times since January, And we finally got a committee recommendation, it's for approval. And the vote on that was 9-0-0. 9 yes, 9-0, or 0 no's and 0 abstain.
Okay, thank you. Floor is now open for debate. Any questions, comments? Floor recognizes CJ.
I just, not necessarily debating in general here, I just wanted to speak to the issue as a proponent. There's, the aspect of the nonprofit is truly, like Lanny said, is very important. But then yet again, you look at the aspect of profit. Right now, what necessarily hasn't really, in general, what has, the true intent of this corporate code and how the Crow tribe is basically, we're carving out our authority to the general council. Right now, we understand that government can't solve all the problems. You look at federal government, you look at right now the Crow tribal government, we're having problems with a lot of the general fund dollars. Right now, we carve this off and give the ability to the Crow tribal members here on the Crow Reservation that want to establish a business or do have a business already. Now, they'll be protected under tribal law. And so it is. This branch has the ability to charter instrumentality, yet this branch has the ability to establish a corporate code to protect its tribal members. And so, right now, basically what that means is it's going to be a true division of separating politics from business. So then that way, the politics don't get involved with the business. We can allow the business to thrive. We can allow the business to flourish. We can allow the business to grow. Which a long time, and I know a lot of, the older ones here in this branch, and as well as the, like Lanny, he teaches economics. When you look at our leadership from the past, there was some that, of course, there's some that didn't see too far, but then yet there was some that saw way beyond. They had a lot of vision. And a lot of the intent was to see things grow. One of our leaders put up that grandstand, put up a sun lodge, carpet mills. At that time, that's Lanny's late father. Visionary. The church people say without a vision, the people perish. And right now, we're establishing a vision. We're allowing our people to seek their visions and seek their dreams. This is a big day. It is truly a big day that right now you're allowing your powers and empowering the tribal membership. We're giving them that arm's length without interference of the tribal government. Right now, we're growing, and as more members get their MBAs, get business degrees, you're going to see a lot of this, the opportunities and the tax benefits that they're going to see. They're going to flourish. They're going to take it to the next level, because right now you have a status that any man and woman on Wall Street would like to have, and that's being a Native American. There's a lot of tax advantages shielded from the state, and as a corporation, in some situations, shielded from federal. In some situations, shielded from both. So these advantages here that we're talking about, not necessarily just for the nonprofit. The nonprofit is a big, another, I'm not going to say another animal, but it's It's another corporation, it's another world that can grow. Later on in this session, you're going to see a lot of different things going on concerning this new vision that we have. A lot of the people here in this room right now want to see something happen. And that's where I stand, is that we want to separate the politics from the business. We have too many examples out there where politics got involved, and then now you have an empty building. You have a building that we turned into an office building. It's condemned. When it rains outside, it rains inside. And still, yet we're still trying to make something happen with that. Right now, we have the opportunity to do this, and the only thing I can say negatively about this is we should have done this a long time ago. And so it is. As a Trinity tribe, we have hindsight. A lot of these other tribes, they went into the Wheeler-Hauer Act, the IRA tribes they call them, and they incorporated a system such as a business, so to speak, a business council, a business corporation, but yet they don't have that ability that a Trinity tribe has. We as a Trinity tribe have the best of both worlds, that we can pick things that work. We have that hindsight, and today we're doing that with this corporation codes. And so I urge everyone to take a look at this, see it for what it's worth, because right now it's at the beginning stages and it's going to take off. Before we know it, this is going to be something really, it's already something great for our people. It's going to be something really awesome for our people to take advantage of. Oh.
Thank you. Floor recognizes Duke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the body, secretary. There's a word that in my mind just went blank, looking at Sherry. I'm gonna go, the first time I've ever heard of the corporation code was 1993. And the person that you might know him, but he's deceased. His name is Myron Little Light Moak. There's two Myron Little Lights, but this one, he was an alcoholic and everything, but he was my best friend. And he said, this is what he told me. One of these days, the only way we're going to get out of the mess that we are in is when we go to the corporation. I didn't know what he was talking about. That was 1993. Then, being part of the legislative branch in 2004, 2005, JD and some of the legislators here went to the Navajo Nation, and they brought back, I believe, the corporation codes that they had, right, JD? And that was what, 2005? I think that's one, or 2006, somewhere around there. So I'm just sharing the history of it. I know the history of the 1948 Constitution, and I didn't like that because it divided and conquered our tribe really bad. I know a lot of stories because my father was a politician for about 50 years. Anyways, so we are bringing back ownership to the 14,000 plus crows. This is a step that they will have their own business. And then in 2006, we went to Joe Cult, the Harvard Project, June 14th through 16th. He had a training on the building a nation. I was there, the three branches was there. Executive branch, cabinet heads, directors, plus 18 legislators, plus our staff, plus the judicial branch, the three judges, plus their staff. And it was at the Holiday Inn in Bozeman at that time. And when we came back, the chairman at the time was Carl Van, the late chairman. And man, I saw the vision. Bob Oggy gave it. Bob Oggy drew a book, Vision Code.
Ba'agi vision, man, I saw it. Man, we're going to get off the ground. But you know what? That 1948 mentality was still too much ingrained in our elders. And that's what's changing. The younger generation, they want ownership. And with this corporation code, you're going to have ownership. Some of you college students that are there, one of these days you're going to be sitting in these leadership. I'm not going to be around all the time, you know. But this is historic. Today was the word that was historic. It's an historic moment that we are in right now. And it's a step forward where you can be who you want to be. Protecting our resources, just like Dr. Lanny Rilbert said. Not teaching our language. One of these days, I like to teach the language. And my first student was Buchanan's white man. He can speak English, but he can't speak Crow worth a darn. So, it's a joke. But I hope you're seeing this, Janice. So, I applaud Sheriff Tutsi. I applaud Bill Watt, Jay Harris, our attorneys, and Sean Rilbert, and Lanny from Bosqua. You know, there's a scripture that says this: you were called for such a time as this. At such a time as this. And I believe each and every one of us is an historical moment that we are here today to give ownership back to the Crow people, to our constituency. Because we can't depend on the executive branch all the time to be an employee agency. The first time I heard the employee agency, we're too ingrained in that. It's time that we step in, that if you want to be a millionaire through your corporation code, setting up your own business, that is truly the dream of America, and I believe that was the dream of our forefathers, that they would have first prosperity. But you know, the true prosperity is your heart and your mind and God. That's the real true prosperity. So I want to end with that. So I'm a proponent of this. I wanted to see this long time coming in 2006, but that day has arrived. Hope.
Oh, the floor is Paul Hill.
Thank you, Speaker, Secretary of the Body, legislative guests, Whitney College. I'm a proponent of this corporation codes here. Me myself, I got a company that I got called Indian Fitness that I put up over in Lane here. And so, you know, I'm not really, I won't stand here and brag about myself, you know. But you know, I got this company over there that put on, and so, you know, before I did this, ran for the office here, and what you know, when after I kind of look at it, you know, it's I come over here, you can't really do much with it, you know. Over there on the Northern Cheyenne side, I gave them my insurance, my company name, and everything like that. And you know, I got to work. You know, I didn't depend on a tribe. And so, you know, I'm a proponent of this. Dr. Lanny Rilbert there, Sean there. You know, Sean, he has a master's degree in economic development, and he probably spent $50,000 for his degree. And now he's coming back, out of his own pocket. Now he's coming back and helping his Crow people. And we like charge for this year. You know, I think that's a great thing that Mr. Rilbert's doing. And Waza says that, you know, Lanny Rilbert's talking about educating people, getting people to do stuff. And one thing is, you know, where on my fitness part, you see people on a reservation, they complain about when you go to state tournament or divisionals, they complain about kids or refs. You know, but it actually ain't the rest, you know. It has a lot to do with, not being properly trained. And, you know, like, for instance, some people think that they can make their kid run 10 miles and go do a non-aerobic exercise. You know, stuff like that. And as I was saying, my God, it's important to do, but we spent all our money on coal, you know, doing all those studies and stuff like that. But the main thing, again, natural resource, I want to charge that is the people that should go look at. Make sure education always a good big suit, make sure you got. And as I was saying, you look at all that stuff, from, we kind of laugh about fitness, but it has to do with life, you know. We're so, as a people, we're lazy. Eric, you know, maybe Eric, we texted you, even sitting right here. You say, that's how lazy you are.
He texts back to GP.
But anyways, you know, you look at all that stuff, you know, and then, these younger generation, natural resources, and these wash the, you know, where he feed it, I guess, you know, there's all kinds of stuff that's going on right now. And me, as myself, you know, my parents have land, but I don't have land, you know what I mean? And, you know, helping the Crow tribe, the corporation code say that you can, Amali Lagos. And I'm a pretty big proponent of this corporation coast that Lanny Milburn and Sharon Matuzzi are doing. Sharon Matuzzi, my choice, good luck. He's at one time you were President Clinton's attorney, right? And, you know, I don't think he's gonna take us in the wrong place, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know. Mr. Speaker, point, thanks.
Oh, floor is Eric.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, members of the body, visiting guests, we always talk about economic development, and I'd like to wish everybody happy Cat Day. Economic development, we're going to spend most of our money in Hardin and Billings. With these corporate codes, profit codes, income business, business, he's making that business, we can go and go to our neighbor or buck. I'm a strong proponent of it. They are non-profit convolved. Hey Carlos, Carlos, non-profit Barsha. What the religion Gresh, the non-profit Gresh used to see up they are so easy. Kun non-profit to buy it. At the Skilusia, kun Hilaga, just like a mom you feel non-profit. Boscosabu Baru stars, Balafaga. Look again. James Tech Stores, Chokes and Canilla, non-profit Gresh. Sheik, church beggar, CJ's, shares. When it's raining outside, it rains inside. It's good. Coffee white, Noga. What child, not historical, it built that. And I'm a strong proponent. We need to help ourselves. We don't need a handout from the government all the time. We need to be self-sustaining. We need a hand up. That's it. And this is what this proposal are going to do to help us. Okay, but I hope.
Okay, at this time, I will cease debate and move to amendments. And I believe there is one, floor recognizes Bryce Huggins.
Thank you, Speaker, Secretary, members of the body, guests. I would like to make a motion to adopt all amendments contained in the proposed substitute and just a handout that we gave you guys.
I believe everyone received one.
CJ? Yeah,
That was the version that it took how many days reading through in committee? I'm not sure, it took many hours reading it word for word.
Half days.
And if you were sitting in the committee, I'm sure you were, probably fell asleep a couple times, but
Can I get a copy?
they made a request, Bill, you want to read the whole thing again? And we started with version 1. We started with a version 1, and we made it to a version 10 revised. I don't know how many trees we killed, but made copy after copy, but now we kind of finalized on it with the version 10 revised. So that's what you guys have before you guys. I guess.
okay, your motion is to substitute this one with the one that was proposed at the beginning,
Yes.
back in January. Okay, need a second on that?
Second.
Second by CJ Stewart. Question by Mr. Rogers. All in favor, raise your right hands. All opposed? All abstained? 18-0-0. I heard a sigh of relief. Okay, at this time, are there any more amendments?
I just-
Conrad Stewart?
Maybe we can close out amendments, I think that's all, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we need a second reading.
Order to-
Conrad Stewart,
I want to make a motion to waive second reading with amendments and go to final roll call vote.
second by Pat Holden. All in favor, raise your right hands. All opposed? All abstained? 18-0-0, motion is carried. Moving on to the final roll call vote. Craig, you may proceed.
3 ayes, Black Lodge, yes. Rogers, Black Lodge, yes.
Stewart, Black Lodge, yes.
You, yes.
Burden Ground, Center Lodge, yes.
Clyburn, Reno, yes.
Nomi, Lodgegrass, yes.
Grove on Lodgegrass, yes.
Auburn, Bighorn, yes.
Crocodile, Bighorn, yes.
Spotted Horse, Bighorn, yes.
Deep Green, Owl Creek, yes.
Goes at Mapwa, yes.
Hug, Zero Creek, yes.
Good luck, Eagle, Chicago, Charger, yes.
Stewart, Joe Pugo, yes.
Real Bird, my few, yes.
Vote to opposite, yes. Motion bill has passed into law. I hope. Sean, we'll try to figure out all this. Olim to each Wugalo team age, little you as I say, the 200 shot.
Thank you. It's a privilege and an honor to pray over this new corporation code law. Let's everybody stand up. Every time that it's good to honor God. It's good to give Him all the credit. Giving us sound minds, giving us health, and then to work together for unity that is being exemplified today in the legislature. So pray with me. Oh, hey, well, quick, but this join the castle, no wabish. Ladies at the level of Gorish, this says a whole gosh, again, no lady, I was my thought, of course. Hey, ma, na, ja, get. Oegtjes, tjeskjon. Ik, maar mat ga ik bij toch feest te en het baadje moe maar gewoon. Het kates kjon op zaal is kjon. Mat ga in een waar iets kes. Je daar op koers, maar je jaagt bestaan. Het zaal get op cheddar work in meals kjon. Hier ge, maaladig, baaladig. Itche, Jesus said, that's all it is. I wear the word, chief. I wear all the word, it says. Kutavri, Arabi, Kilachbach, Bish. At Mario at Mario, all you, the Kioskion, again, the Wabish. Where a Costoria, Mario, all we got is just a map. Maria Kirshirek to wash in the Wabish. Where I hear Carlo, in our area, this to one Morosal, a rich shown. Kutavri Arabi, Bilia, and no cheese to Hattes, Kutavri, Bareli, Cavri, Yage, Bilia, Mama Gauskin, Navilia, Kawagach, Hina Maria, the son, the cutbook, Yage, absolve against a chip and go agi milk. E a meister was es, Balashes, Bishage the Grusik, you because the bad Yakuho, in our way of no gases, Kari Habius, like the way of gases, in our largest toilet, but if you saw the sea mark bastion, at Yehovicua. If you had you was a sorrow against the chair, a whole sea mark base, at Yehovicu, in our base, this is a whole ration. A whole, amen.
A whole.
Consolidation. Co-legislature, Age Hilsig Homa, Age Biggest to give a card. Now, then to be guest, Bach, Body Kiss, no Abish, they cut you with it. Not much of a god. They're going to cut a big wall, not this full of buggers. This is to be guest. Maluk Shiro, the Lassalo go to it. Let me out is, put it a na wabish, na lawgres, diru naktu relka, absalogis, te chest nakushi, absalogis, na wabish, nakuxus, I istisari, Agay, Senator, Nomi, Church today, Cathedral, what touched the new got Yakushes, Cody, yeah. They like Vincent, non-profit organization, good enough. E.G. is. E.G. Hushut, away whole week, couldn't cut the like dead. Cody, ha. E.G. Nakushi, Yoko. Did I great rodeo, Kamauzik, to a Yokamima Bagger. Bobby Indian finals, Bob Yokut, Bagage. Pro Fair, you would take you guys. But gosh, him all rodeo cowboys, so that first out, you guys, but. Top rodeo in the country, go to watch. We have Yokut is cold. There are 8 districts room. No code connect Dallas South. What will is that? Community Development Corporation and New Iowa. Should be that. Community Development Corporation and New Iowa. Got Yokut. State corporate potato. They're going sovereignty. Wow. No, I'll bet you are hosted. The government boss going to incorporate the Bible. I'll give it to you. You guys move forward before the code. You woke up the people, look up. Now what will you should be there? Amichigas, you. District's dog. Balagot the jail. They like to spend Nancy Shwoga. Lage, na, Bam Shibo, Wap Pastagai. It's non-profit code to them. Na Nancy Shwoga, Mir Guxado's health decided. Maybe medicine's out to God. Maybe building solid, Kippada just told Gaga. Dealun of Salogate legislature. Dealun the Khada. Malashike. Re Dawish, Re Mira Ipchigadish. There, Kagyakutu. They like Babu Shibo. Take Yolandis, Lanny, Ahi, Wapo. Babu Chirigi, Migo Cook. Lanny said, I'm going to establish a non-profit organization, a community development corporation for my people here. Hatin Bajamai, Hatin Mahimid, Kwamhit, Nabal with him nip. The Creator, Jesus Christ, was Bal with him nip. I'm going to create this organization. I want my people to live in new homes, have big businesses, live a good way of life, send their children to Ivy League school. The dream, but it's dim, master's degree is. She put it to work here. She could be making 150,000 someplace else. It did my gift with you. Thank Sherry's out for spoke. Sherry, can you help us, my friend? Go come males omni. Yeah. I'll come now. August this they're going to study up with it. Sure appreciate Lenny, Sherry, and Bill Watt. They buy this cool. In the future, we will go out and give cookies. But they watch, cookies secretary. I'll bomb you, Gaga. We don't need to depend on the federal government. We're going to depend on ourselves with our own writing ability and our own vision and our own passion from this day forth. We don't need to depend on government subsidies or anything else. Again, none knowledge about. I'll call them leaders of all the districts. I'll call now, go give. Okay, by Gil City, Homa legislature. There, I'm going to say thank you to the executive branch. I have Chairman, Vice Chairman, Dana Street, Southern Backbone, AJ Street. There, Nawa, Akawashi Gashpam, there, Kamamukum, there, deals. Did you want to get could do? Okay, you want to go. They want to go. There's you up. No one being necessary. Be good. Go tribal government, go people. Let the his sagas go make sure. Go give. Okay, buddy.
Oh, no shot. For information, the college students, we have a website. I don't know if you're aware of it. Lanny, are they aware of it? That anyway, it's telecasted on the web. I don't know what the website address is. ctlv.org. We broadcast live during sessions, and then during the interim, during the committee meetings, it's on YouTube where you can log on there and watch each of the committee meetings. Some are probably wondering why it's, the vote was so unanimous and there was no opposition. One of the key elements is our committee meetings. During the committee meetings, that's where we come to agree to disagree. And if there are some issues that we feel like need to be addressed during that committee meeting, that's where a lot of those issues take place, where, just like what Bryce said, how many copies did they have to make? There was that many changes, that many issues that were at hand that had to be changed in order for this to pass. And sessions komerisch gewoni wa liu tela itchik baledu kagon hena committee gerish awi expect kagon na awi. So that is why there's usually a unanimous vote on these issues is because we keep it in committee until we feel like it is ready to pass. Then we bring it out of committee onto the floor. There's a lot of issues still in old business that are still being discussed during the interim. At this time, Bryce would like to say a few words.
Our public speaker, secretary, members of the body. I guess just use a whole homage, my brothers, you guys, we're all brothers as legislators, and we're looking out for our people, and that's why we make these decisions. Today we made a big decision, and it was for our family members, for our neighbors, for everybody in our community to move forward. And with that, and Sean, Chair, Yolanda, Bill, I called meetings and they'd be here about 10 minutes before, waiting, and that's what it took. And I'd like to thank the committee also for being there and for voicing their opinions, and that's where a lot of these changes came from. And so with that, I hope
At this time, the time is 12:38, and need a motion for recess until,
I'll make that motion for recess.
motion by Eric, second by Paul Hill. All in favor, raise your right hands. It's unanimous, 18-0-0. I guess they want a photo shoot for the legislation. Sean, hey, photo shoot, do you think so? Photo shoot, yes, Igosha, and Greg, you comic here. Well, they're lining up, then they can do their photo shoot.
Oh, yeah.